you have a plan? How can we possibly wipe out every child?
Hey, it's The Witches by Roald Dahl. To be honest, this is one of the really rare times I actually read the book before I watched the movie. And if you saw my last multi-rapid review, you know that I watched the 1990 version of The Witches already. So what do I think about this version? God, why do I pay to watch it in theaters? But at first I want to get all the good stuff out of the way first. The first positive is actually Octavia Spencer. She's the best part of the movie for me. She seems like having a lot of fun with the movie itself. Next thing is actually Hathaway. The trailer, she seems bad, but she's actually good here as well. Of course, you need a while to get over her accent. I actually do find some moments in the movie pretty funny and I actually did laugh out loud during those moments. Like that one scene with Bruno, when he finished eating. Some CGI that looks alright. And I actually do give credit for the movie that the 1990 version doesn't do in the book. There is narration the entire way through. The main character is called the boy, and they actually did keep the ending of the book. But yeah, I don't have much to say about this movie that I like. That is actually really strange because the people around me that I'm watching with, they actually really like that movie. I actually have fun with it. And one girl behind me, when she saw a Grand High Witch, she actually cries and leaves the theater. I want to have fun, I want to feel threatened, but no, I just don't feel these two emotions. Two young couples sitting next to me keep seeing me so uninterested of this movie. I was like, yeah, because I keep thinking, why does the 1990 version did it every single way better than this movie does? And when I was sitting, I was not even trying to draw comparisons. Just to be clear, I don't mind reboots. Even if the book to movie adaptation is good, I don't mind if you reboot it again. I've seen reboots better than the original. For example, True Grit reboot by the Coen Brothers, which knocks John Wick version off the water. 2017's It casually beats a miniseries. My favorite movie last year, Little Woman, casually overshadows every single version beforehand. And even more recent example, Emma this year, defeats the Gwyneth Paltrow version. So no, I don't mind reboots. But what I do mind is the reboot good? At the same time, I've seen plenty of failed versions this year. Like the Secret Garden reboot, which is very annoying. The Rebecca reboot, which is... I don't know what that is. Also, this shit. Unfortunately, the Witches reboot is just not a good reboot. For one, it looks like a cartoon, which is really hard to take itself seriously. Not helping is the fact that the book is actually a mature kid's book about growing up. Also, some shots of CGI just looks really bad, to be honest. The movie actually has 3 mouths, which, if I'm being honest, the female mouths actually add nothing to the story. That is just so cringy. Also, some forced humor, like there's a part of a mouse biting a person's Also, I just found the first act to be incredibly boring. For one, I just found the boy to be not very good in the role. He's pretty wooden, to be honest. I mean, he has some few good shots, but just not very good overall. Also, there's just so many unnecessary exposition. Or just like, why don't you just do it in one scene and just show me? Like, you know, in the 1990 version. Like, seriously, the exposition hasn't ended until like the beginning of the second act. Not helping is the fact that most scenes in the first act just serve no purpose, to be honest. But honestly, my biggest issue is the Grand High Witch, which for me symbolized everything wrong with this movie. I'm gonna compare it to the 1990 version just to show why the 2020 version failed at doing so. For one, it's just... do I need to say anything of how they look? I mean, both doesn't make you scary. The 2020 version even adds forced humor for the Grand High Witch itself. And how am I supposed to take her seriously because of that? And also her stupid accent, just to combine with both.
You see, girls? He would exterminate those brats!
I mean, sure, because it's 2020, there are a lot of CGI you can put inside for her spells, but that is just style. You need substance for it. In the 1990 version, Grand High Witch is actually intimidating because the movie actually built up her fear. Because the movie actually shows the witches actually scare the Grand High Witch. In the 1990 version, the witch is actually shown to be really good at their job.
Perhaps if Erica had known them.
So when even the witch are scared of her, you should be scared of her as well. And the movie actually takes time for the Grand High Witch to kill the first witch for actually good reasons to show why no other witch are there to challenge her. In the 2020 version, we got this one scene, but at that point we don't know who the witch is, so we just don't feel scared of her. And the witch even fails at her job. To add matters worse, the witches underneath her doesn't seem to scare her. And the witch is actually just praising her, and then she just shoots lightning. It just makes her look petty instead of scary. Also, instead of just building up the witch to be scary, the movie used the unsubtle way possible by keep smashing things for no reason. Honestly, when I was watching the movie, I expect the Grand High Witch to just sing, no joke. Honestly, this movie tries to be both kid-friendly and scary at the same time, which it just doesn't work. And the result is just embarrassing, just like a Grand High Witch. Also, when I realized who the director, producer, and writers are, I was just, what is going on with all of you? Robert Zemeckis and Guillermo del Toro. I've seen you guys doing much better things that are similar to this movie before. I know that Roald Dahl doesn't like the 1990 version because of the ending, which, to be honest, I understand, and I was the same as him, kinda disappointed. But if Roald Dahl is alive, and when he saw this 2020 version, I seriously think he will have a heart attack. Sure, they kept the ending, but they turned his mature kids book into a live-action cartoon. Honestly, I don't hate this movie, I'm just disappointed. Especially that I actually read the book and watched the 1990 version, and I love both. So, whatever. The Witcher 2020 gets a 4 out of 10.